everybody, the Rawesome TV's first ever podcast. I'm Chris Tougher, and I'm your co-host.
Along with your other co-host, Javell.
And we're going to talk about a couple of things that's been on everybody's mind in the Rank 1 universe. First things first, where have we been? You know what I'm saying? It's been 3 months since the last episode. And Fallout didn't even necessarily come out where it was supposed to, but, it's been many time constraints and, just a lot of things going on. Schedules conflicting. If you're a YouTube watcher or a YouTube person, you know exactly what's been going on.
Yeah, the show is not over by a long shot, not at all. It's just a lot of different factors play into it when you have a diverse roster, number one, and you have things going the way they do at the magnitude and the level that they're running. It gets a little difficult, you know what I'm saying, when we're short staffed, whatnot here at Rawesome TV, since we really just starting up and everything. We're doing this all like no really special equipment. This is all coming straight conversion from the PlayStation 4 to the laptop, and from the laptop to YouTube. It's all by hand. It's all like we record from two totally different places. So if my commentary partner Chris Tougher is all the way where he's at, and I'm all the way here, and we're both trying to record and get things together, it's a process. It's a really long process. It takes a very long time to get these episodes out to you all. And with life just throwing us a lot of curveballs recently, we just been a little held back, but not anymore. That's a guarantee. We're going to be going full steam ahead, and it's nothing nobody can do to stop Rawesome TV.
That is most certainly true. Like nothing's really gonna stop us, because we've actually blocked off some time, and we have some new episodes coming very soon, and we're just gonna take this thing to the top.
Right.
We're gonna be rock and roll with this thing, and Rawesome is a concept that has brought forth many good ideas. It stimulates the creative juices, so to speak, and we should talk about, first things first, Fallout. What happened? Well, Fallout was awesome, wasn't it? Like, where do you go from here? What went into making something as awesome as Fallout? You know what I'm saying? You have the lights, the pyro, and thank you, Cam, for your song. You know what I'm saying? Animal was the perfect way to make this pay-per-view, because like, everybody was going at it like some animals. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't want to cut you off. First thing I'm gonna say about Fallout is that was a hell of a pay-per-view, man. That was a hell of a pay-per-view.
Yes, it was. And like we had many things happen in that pay-per-view, such as Charlotte versus Nia Angel, and then you have matches such as Tyga and Paige, the Extreme Rules match, the Hardcore match, the Fatal 4-Way for the title. You know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of combustible elements going into that match.
It's just they're so similar in styles.
Yeah, all people were in the pay-per-view. There was matches such as like Tyga and Paige, where they were practically one and the same going against each other.
You know what? I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go with that. But what I personally was really shocked about was that heart-stopping match between James Taylor and Aaron Andrews for the Liberty Championship.
That match was like, my gosh. Any day you have the power go out mid-match, not because of technical difficulties, but because of the
extremely unbelievable.
Yes, and the match was just, that crazy, and they were fighting just that hard. Like, what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Right.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? There was blood everywhere. Those two made it outside. They started having it out outside. They took out the referee a couple times. No one was safe during that match. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about an unsafe work environment? You need to see that match. Like like, I think that was the perfect way to start off the first pay-per-view.
Unless your name is Aaron Andrews, of course.
I mean, well, yeah, he lost the title that night, but, you know, man, when you go to war, you can't get mad if you lose. You can't.
I mean, well, if you think about it, only person who really could stop, you know, James Taylor at that moment was Aaron Andrews. And if you look back at how things, let's say, how they've played out since last round, then you can say Aaron Andrews stopped James Taylor then, and he planned on stopping James Taylor now, but apparently James Taylor Hart just doesn't seem to know how to stop beating, and he walked away with the victory. Somehow, I'm not even sure if you can call that a win. Like, when you're not able to come to work, you know what I'm saying, the next day you'll schedule and have a match or defend that championship that you fought so hard to win. Was it really worth it? I mean, I get it. I get it. It shows, you know, the pride and prestige that comes with holding that championship. Not only the financial game, but the respect and the power game. But you only have so much power from a hospital bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree. You know what I'm saying? You only have so much power from a hospital bed. And it's one of those things, like, you know, how Finn Balor, when he won the Universal Championship, he couldn't even enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? He injured himself and then had to give it up the next day. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know, Seth Rollins climbing to the top type story. You know what I'm saying? He catches in.
You know what, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, he catches in on Roman Reigns, and then the next day he's just like out. You know what I'm saying? A couple months later.
I mean, well, what we know right now, as far as the extent of the injuries that's been suffered by James Taylor and Aaron Andrews throughout that match, we know that James Taylor is currently the Liberty Champion. We also know that he'll be out of action for about three to 4 weeks. And that's not too long, you know. So I'm pretty sure him holding the title for that time, while we find a number one contender, will be okay. Because I mean, Aaron Andrews' injuries, he'll be gone for at least 3 to 6 weeks, so he won't be able to return in time for the next pay-per-view for James Taylor to return to, you know, for him to have his rematch for the championship either way. So what we need to do is, you know, while we know that they're going to be going for a while, we're going to take the time to find another superstar who can step up to the challenge of a return to James Taylor with nothing on his mind but the intent of retaining his championship that he had fought Aaron Andrews so hard for.
Well, of course, you know what I'm saying? You put in all that work. Of course, you know what I'm saying? You have to come back ready. You know what I'm saying? You can't take a win like that and then just, you know, not come back with the fierceness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
James Taylor was one bad dude. You know what I'm saying? That's not somebody that you could just roll over like that. You know what I'm saying? You see how much it took for that match to go forth. You know what I'm saying? You see how much it took for them to, how much bad blood went into that match. Granted, they both hate each other, but that's you know, more so beside the point. These two are also fighters. These two are also competitors. And then you put those combustible elements in the same match and you bring weapons into the situation. It can only make things worse.
Right. And if you think about it, I mean, it's one way to feel about having friends in this industry who will do things for you and go out of their way. But at the end of the day, if it is Raymond Rivers who becomes the next number one contender, in the wake of Aaron Andrews' absence, then we also have to think of that friendship becoming a factor in the match at Charge, the next pay-per-view. Because you have to think of the fact that those two good friends, you know, the best friends become bitter enemies, bitter rivals when it's time for something to be put on the line. Whether it's a championship, whether it's a cash prize, whether it's anything. Even best friends can become bitter rivals just out of the spirit of competition. And when you got two people, the likes of James Taylor and somebody who we're seeing so far with, you know, the likes of Raymond Rivers, I mean, you can only imagine that the match between them two is going to be so competitive that at some point, you know, the championship might not even be, you know, a factor that plays a part. But then again, you can't say that either because James Taylor fought so hard for that championship. Now, what we do know is Javell had told Raymond Rivers off top already. He said, look, if you can defeat Bully Ray tonight, and James Taylor gets that win, James Taylor gets to face Aaron Andrews at a Charged and Hardcore match, then that means I'll put you on a fast track to be in the next contender for the Liberty Championship.
Of course.
And with Raymond Rivers winning that match, then you have to think that JaVale is gonna stick to his word. You know what I'm saying? So I see Raymond Rivers becoming a contender for that championship in the near future.
Well, yeah, I can see Raymond Rivers being, a contender for that championship as well. And then, you have, imagine how he's feeling right now. You know what I'm saying? He just got his best friend an opportunity at the Liberty Championship, and then he wasn't even on the card for the show. And then his friend wins the championship and then is off in the hospital for the next few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Right now he has to be building up for something pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Raymond Rivers got to be working in the gym probably a couple more extra hours.
I mean, you have to think about it. When you put we have to Raymond Rivers, his background. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the members of Team Bad Guy 101, and knowing that class of competitors that JaVale spit out there, you know what I'm saying, him being amongst those ranks, you got to know by default, Raymond Rivers is going to do anything it takes to become champion right now. Okay, now, as of late, we haven't seen, too much an aggressive side from Raymond Rivers or, what I'm saying, any foul play or anything like that, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, I'm telling you, Raymond Rivers is going to do absolutely whatever it takes to win that championship. And you'd be stupid to think James Taylor doesn't know that. They are extremely close friends. And if James Taylor already knows Raymond Rivers is going to sink to whatever depths he has to go to become champion, then James Taylor is ready to sink right with him. You see what I'm saying? And that's all out of the cost of remaining champion. It's regardless of what you have to do. Friendships, relationships, all of that goes out the window when a championship is on the line.
That is true. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to, some of our classic rivalries that, we had in season 1, where the topic was, what will you do to be champion? What will you do to become rank 1 champion?
Yeah.
I guess all is fair in love and war on this part, but when you have those combustible elements going at it, you know what I'm saying? It's so many big personalities on rank 1. This is just I'd have to say the proving ground where the greats in the world come.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And they battle it out. To see who has the liberty to be the champion, who has who is rank 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And man,
right? Like, wow, like, I mean, the entire building's power was completely distraught for all of, I want to say, maybe, what was it, 30 seconds? The entire power in the building was out.
I mean, this is true. That match was hectic.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure we've taken enough measures and everything to make sure nothing like that happens again.
You know what I'm saying? And you can only imagine what waits for Raymond Rivers.
Stitches aren't even the word for it, but when you think about, I mean, they really escaped that match. They escaped that match with their lives. But Aaron Andrews did not escape that match with his championship. One man who did escape his match for his championship, with his championship, was the rank 1 world heavyweight champion Jake Jones that night.
This is true. Jake Jones escaped with his rank 1 world championship, you know what I'm saying, in that triple threat match, a fatal 4-way match.
I mean, you got to think of who he was in there with. He was in there with one, if not the longest reigning WWE World Heavyweight Champion of his time, Seth Rollins.
And then you have the artist and the rock star, also known as Shinsuke Nakamura,
former 2-time NXT champion as well. Then you also in there with not only one of your boys, but probably arguably the most powerful man in the matchup, the most ruthless man in the matchup, and a burning rising star in Jason Stallion.
This is true, also known as the Big Dog.
Right.
In some ways. But, it's just, wow.
I mean, well, with a couple of Kinshasas everywhere. I mean, it was Kinshasa City, man. I mean, he get one. I mean, I think everybody caught at least one Kinshasa that night. It was absolutely hectic, man.
Oh yeah, it was a Kinshasa party, and he really only needed one. Like, man,
really, he think about it. Seth Rollins, him and Shinsuke Nakamura, this rivalry with the four of these guys dates back way before Fallout. Last round, Seth Rollins was, scheduled to face Shinsuke Nakamura for the vacant Rank 1 World Championship. Whoever won the championship, would from there, henceforth be champion and would take that championship into Fallout to defend it against the number one contender. But what happens is, instead of that match actually taking place the way it should have, mid-match, Jake Jones took his Money in the Bank briefcase, cashed in on, Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura, pinned Seth Rollins to become Rank 1 World Champion. The rest is history. Ever since Jason Stallion he popped up literally out of nowhere. Seth Rollins was out there, basically giving his, I guess you could say, his speech as to why he didn't walk away with the championship that night, trying to get some answers from Jones. But Stallion came out there and was like, look, no excuses. You know what I'm saying? You and Shinsuke there, y'all both technically have the right, to claim number one contender. But, the way I look at it, y'all got just as much, claim to that spot as I do, because both of you all lost last night, and technically I'm next up on the rankings. You know what I'm saying? And if I can beat you tonight, then I'll take your spot. So Jason Stallion went out there. Him and Nakamura went out there. Now,
yep.
Nakamura got involved in the match, that main event that night, and he shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? And Jason Stallion had lost out on the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To be champion not champion, but to be number one contender because of Nakamura. And ever since that moment, them two had been absolutely head first at each other. And the whole time, Jones just been chilling with the it's like he didn't want no chaos. He didn't worry about none of that. He just been chilling with the championship, waiting for his next opponent.
Man, Jones has been on ice. He just been sitting there chilling. You know what I'm saying? Rollins wanted Jones's head. Jones ain't want none. He just wanted his title. And then you have Shinsuke Nakamura and Jake Jones, who've been at each other's throats, you know what I'm saying, for practically the whole 4 weeks up to the pay-per-view at Fallout. Like, man.
I mean, literally, there was literally nothing you can do to keep these two from being at each other's throats. Jason Stallion and Shinsuke Nakamura accounted for, I want to say, at least 75% of the reason that people was tuning in at that moment. It's just those two had literally the brawls between these four men went everywhere, from the arena to the backstage to the locker rooms to the it was everywhere.
I mean, yeah, nobody was safe. You know what I'm saying? And Seth Rollins was just swinging at any and everything until Jason Stallion put him down.
Everybody. After he was banned from the building, given the night off and banned from the building, he came back and tried. He said, I'll tell you what, if I'm not competing tonight, nobody's competing tonight. As far as I'm concerned with this World Heavyweight Championship situation, the man attacked Jake Jones before he even got to the ring, leaving Shinsuke and Nakamura in the ring looking like what's really going on. Beat Jake Jones all the way to the backstage. Not to say, Jones just got his ass handed to him, but I mean, they did what they had to do. And then after that, Seth Rollins left he left Jake Jones laying in the locker room and went looking for the big dog, Jason Stallion.
I mean, well, yeah. Seth Rollins was on edge. He didn't care. Point is, he wanted to soften up every single opponent he had going into Fallout, because eventually he was going to sit back and let them, go. And that's not to say that, the Kingslayer will be passive about it.
Right.
But as much as to say that they will already be softened up. So all you got to do is go in, hit him with a curb stomp, pedigree.
I mean, that's just how it was going to happen.
Yeah, or whatever need be. and then just let that be it, and that's the done data. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just get that 1, 2, 3, and he'll become champion. You know what I'm saying? He already got a fresh start.
I mean, he ran into a wall with Jason Stallion. I'm just gonna keep that honest. He ran into a complete wall, and while he ran into a wall, Jason Stallion walked into a Kinshasa. Because I mean, it looked like he was headed out to the arena to deal with Shinsuke Nakamura anyway. And on his way out there, he just caught the nastiest Kinshasa. I mean,
yeah, that Kinshasa was crazy. Like, literally from out of nowhere, just bow.
I mean, he didn't even see it coming. Like, the viewers at home couldn't even see it coming. They literally was like, he was almost like hiding on the side of the gorilla position. Like, you look up and next thing you know, his kneecap is all in your mouth and it's over. Like,
you want to talk about an RKO from out of nowhere? That Kinshasa was from out of nowhere. Like, he didn't even have time to think.
And personally, I'm not gonna lie to you. For a minute, that had me convinced that Shinsuke Nakamura was gonna be able to walk away from Fallout, the new Rank 1 World Champion.
Agreed. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta load it up real good. Load it up. Kinshasa, and it was over. You know what I'm saying? Like, no rhyme or reason. Just kneecaps to the face.
I think that's true to say. I think that's very true to say. Stemming from, let's say, NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way. Looking at that, then yeah, I would definitely label Shinsuke Nakamura the Tyler Breeze of that matchup. But I'm definitely labeling Jake Jones the Neville of that match. The way all it took was one pop-up power slam. That was it.
I mean, well, yeah, Jake Jones, he took a backseat in that match. He wasn't, making himself the issue in that matchup. He was fighting on the defense rather than the offense. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He didn't have to look for anything, you know what I'm saying? He knew he was going home with the title, but he just wanted to make sure his opponents handled themselves enough to the point where he could sit back and chill and then pick up that pinfall victory, you know what I'm saying? That's all it took was one pop-up power slam, you know what I'm saying? A couple gravity falls was here or there, and it was just over, you know what I'm saying? The champion is the champion, even though the odds are stacked against you.
And you know what? It was Jake Jones that night because he walked away with the Rank 1 World Championship.
This is true. You know what I'm saying? When the odds are stacked against you as champion, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the Fatal 4-Way, if the other three guys are beating each other up, you kind of have a bigger odds if you're just like not, there. Like, if it's a triple threat match going on and you're just watching, who really gets hurt? You know what I'm saying? Then you come through with a pinfall, grab the 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say that it actually happened. All four competitors were active during the match. But you know what I'm saying? For Jake Jones to slide on through, you know what I'm saying, with the quickness, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake Jones was just at the right place at the right time. And that's how champions are made.
What happened to season 1? Well, it's exactly what happened to season 2 recently, just 10 times worse. At that time, we had started a little pretty late in the year, I want to say. And once WWE and 2K, they drop a video game every year. And the ideal of people wanting to see 2K17 more than 2K16 kind of, it kind of took over the company and everything. And, everything was kind of halted as far as season 1 was concerned. But, I mean, we still have everything from season 1 as far as the clips, the statistics and everything and all of that. It's all still set up. Very soon we're getting ready to release what we're calling the Vault, where there'll be maybe a playlist on YouTube or whatnots where you can go back and watch a lot of the actually a lot of season 1 and everything that happened in it and how it brought us to where we are now. So everybody can be caught up, because everybody's like, we have season 2 here, but what happened to season 1? I'm going back to look at season 1 and I don't see a season 1. So that's what's happening. As far as season 1 right now, we'll be covering how Chris Amazing became the first ever Rank 1 World Champion. We'll be covering the first ever Rank 1 pay-per-view, All Out War, all that kind of stuff, how the club, impacted Rank 1 wrestling and, all of that good stuff. So we'll definitely have season 1 up for visual very soon.
Yeah, real soon. But not as soon as the newest episode is coming out. It is coming out very soon. I'm not going to put a date on it because you know how things have been around here. But we have been getting better about it. But yeah, a new episode should be coming out very soon of Rank 1 Wrestling. We're so sorry to be gone for so long. But we have not forgot. We have not forgot at all. And we're coming back with a vengeance, baby. We got some good stuff coming, and just to reiterate a little bit of what Javell was saying about Stephen Mosley, about how Rank 1 is getting real huge. You know what I'm saying? And we have something coming out called Rank 1 Live, and all you gotta do is submit your characters, and you can be a part of Rank 1 Wrestling. You know what I'm saying? It's so revolutionary because no one out here is doing something like this. And,
right, yeah.
Wow. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things, if you really knew what you had your hands on, it's practically life-changing. Because, when you have... It's one thing to play a video game, but when it becomes real to you, that's a gamer's dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To know that that same career you've been playing back in your mind, you can make legit, and you can watch it unfold right before your eyes.
But you know what? At the very same time, people complain that it's too long, but you also have people who complain that it's too short. So what we're doing now is we're actually televising. Well, I ain't gonna say televising, but we're posting the actual videos and footage of our live tours now. It's called Rank 1 Live, and it'll be where you can see a lot of the just the up and coming superstars who haven't quite frankly made it up to Rank 1 Wrestling's main roster, so to speak. And then you have some who are on the main roster who go down to who'll be on the live tour, and just trying to make their ways globally, make their waves and make a name for themselves and get their foot in the door and everything like that, because Rank 1 Wrestling is the one place where no matter where a superstar or a wrestler is contracted, they're always able to come to Rank 1 Wrestling to do what they got to do. So Rank 1 Live is yeah, go ahead.
Rank 1 Live is a big opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It expands beyond just me and Mosley, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth on commentary with an idea that we created. We wanted to open it up to everyone.
I mean, it's just like, it's like NXT. Yeah, it's by the fans for the fans. You ever had that feeling like, how WWE, they'll have my career mode or something like that, when you take your creative character through a story and you battle some of your favorites and some of the ones you hate the most, you become champion and all of that. But it's things that we miss from career mode that we don't technically have, like the options to cut our own promos. Like, they say we can select promos to cut, but with Rank 1 Wrestling, you can cut your own promos, have the audio be placed over your character's voice to, have the, and it's really fun when you're in a really good rivalry and you just cut really good promos with someone, and it's even better to play against that person. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like everybody who has a character on Rank 1 Live or Rank 1 Wrestling is the manager of that character. You manage how that character's career turns out. You know what I'm saying? And we're always looking for new characters, because the one thing we want to do is we want you to feel like the character that you built, story can be told here on Rank 1 Wrestling. Because we all know that WWE is never going to pick a random person and be like, okay, give them a background and we'll create a story around them and we'll put them in the video game. You know what I'm saying? So what we're doing is we're giving you that option. We're giving you the story mode that they should have been giving us years ago. We're bringing back story mode, should you say, when we had custom created, stories and, just paths you can take, branch off and do your own thing, if you will, so it's always open. We working on writing up contracts for characters and everything now, so it's best to get in here early, because as soon as it starts really, once this well-oiled machine gets to really running, everybody's going to want to be a part of it. And you have to understand that on any match card anywhere, there are main eventers, there are mid-carders, and somebody's got to be jobbers. And if you come a little too late and your character ain't ain't what you thought he was, he might end up a jobber or something, But look at where jobbers are now. Look at Jinder Mahal. So, hey, anything can happen. Just submit your characters, rawesome@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? And whenever you have a match, if you have your own YouTube channel or whatnot, have matches at the Rank 1 Live arena. If you need to know, the keywords for the arena is just Rank 1 Live, Rank 1 Wrestling, Rank 1, just on YouTube, just post the videos that you have, play against anybody you want, and just, have a good match and post it to your channel with the hashtag Rank1Live, and we'll definitely see it. We'll definitely give you feedback. We'll let you know what's going on. And if you've been wrestling on Rank 1 Live for so long, after a certain amount of time, we've been watching you, see what you do, cutting your own custom promos and everything on your channel. We're going to bring you right over to Rank 1 Wrestling and put you on a fast track to one of these championships out here.
Yeah, it all depends on, where can we fit you, and how we can, support your dream for your creative superstar. This brings a whole new meaning to, video games in a way, or at least that's how I feel about it.
I feel that way.
It makes it real. Yep. It without, hopefully there's no copyright involved with it, but it's just easier to say.
Yeah.
Like, and I just feel that it feels as if it's still real to us. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. Shout out to Still Real Radio, by the way. But yeah, it's one of those things where, it's real, and you can quantify it. You can call out his attributes, your creative character, and have it be, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, and think about this also. There's not really anyone else doing exactly what we're doing as far as this Rank 1 Wrestling. You have some people who have, they have wrestling leagues. You join a league, and that's all cool and fine and everything. But nowhere else on YouTube where you find a channel where you're cutting custom promos against other people as if you're like, with your character standing right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have some people who do voiceovers for real life characters such as John Cena, or somebody might voice over Natalia, or somebody might voice over another character or something like that, and it'll just be for that particular character. But here, it's not just about one character. It's about the entire roster. It's about the company. You know what I'm saying? We need this to be the WWE of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're aiming for. We aiming to take this thing to creative heights that have never been reached before. Nobody has this concept, and as long as we have this concept, nobody will be Rawesome TV.
This is true. Nobody will be Rawesome TV. Like, there may be people that imitate, but no one does exactly what we're doing right now. We're opening up a whole new world. You know what I'm saying? A whole new way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? It's been said before that it's not anything new that has been done, but new ways of doing things that make innovation what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what creativity is all about. You know what I'm saying?
Where else can you get Kenny Omega versus Shinsuke Nakamura? Where else can you get AJ Styles versus, let's say, Prince Puma? Where else can you get Ricochet versus Neville? Where else could you get Chris Danger versus Willpower? Where else could you get JaVale versus Mr. Amazing? You know what I'm saying? This is what Rank 1 Wrestling is about. You're going to have your occasional dream matches. You may see AJ Styles versus Nakamura, prediction rivalries and stuff like that. But what we're going to thrive off of the most is our custom storylines.
Yeah, our custom storylines are fire. You know what I'm saying? Simply because we are, fans, and the show is for fans and by fans, and how we can, almost see into the actual hardcore fans' mind and see what they might have in mind for that rivalry. And yeah, like some of those names that he mentioned, you may not know, but later podcasts we'll be doing backstory reviews. That way you can understand the creative minds behind the process.
Exactly. And you know what? Another thing, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I have to put this out there. Another thing about the workload of Rawesome TV. A lot of people, I get a lot of questions. They ask, why is it when you're when you have a match, why aren't you simulating, have a little music behind it and only show the spots that really matter? The reason why you don't do it is because we want this to be as authentic a show as we possibly can. And, let's say we, simulate through everything that it gives you a more organic feeling when something just happens out of nowhere and you're looking like, wow, I wasn't expecting that to happen, rather than just to simulate through the whole thing and get straight to the point. We want the feeling to be as organic as possible, because if you know exactly where certain highlights is and you just go straight to them, then the rest of the show doesn't matter. So let's say we have a match right now. It's a random Alexa Bliss versus Bayley match. And you just watching the match go on, and you just like, man, I really wish I could just skip through to the main parts, and then boom, out of nowhere is a cutscene. Right then and there is a cutscene where a cutscene usually wouldn't be, and it explains the rest of the story, and it blows your mind, and you're like, wow, well, I wasn't expecting that. That's the exact reaction we was expecting to get by keeping it organic.
Well, yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those things where you won't find any just regular old match in Rank 1 Wrestling. We try to add a sweet touch to everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? Something to differentiate who we are and what we do. That way it can just be unique and flow. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just the way we rock things at Rank 1 Wrestling. You know what I'm saying? We like it to be organic, flow, and as real as possible, because it is still real to us. But that's about all the time we have today. Thank you for tuning in to Rawesome TV's first ever podcast.
Along with your other co-host, Javell.
Chris Tougher signing out, and you guys have a great one.
That's why I really feel like